Hey everybody, it's Jay from Sludge Central. I wanted to wish you all a happy Halloween, and this has been an amazing Halloween season, so I wanted to commemorate it. I just can't remember a Halloween season that has been this good in such a long time, and I haven't done a video in forever, but I felt like I needed to sit down and talk to you all about some of the best stuff that's happened this Halloween season. So first, there was this DriveThru Haunted attraction. I felt like this idea may have been left over from the pandemic when nobody wanted to get out of their cars, but I'm okay with it. Driving through a haunted attraction is awesome. You get to stay in your own car. You could play your Halloween playlist. They even had this radio station set up that was supposed to be playing spooky sounds that matched all the scenes as you're driving through. Unfortunately, it was just playing the Purple People Eater. But this haunted attraction was so authentic. They put so much time and effort into all the scenes. The ambiance was great. The actors even did an awesome job. But I have to say, it was better than going to Six Flags Great Adventures Fright Fest. Fright Fest was absolutely abysmal this year. If you went, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was one of the worst things that I could ever imagine. As a guy who has been going to Six Flags Great Adventure since I was a kid, it's very disappointing to know that they handled it this badly. So they announced the opening date, and of course I wanted to be there, but none of the attractions were open, and it was really a terrible situation. And when I went back, I was really displeased with how bad the attractions were. The Stranger Things walkthrough was such a disappointment. Their big thing was this animatronic of Vecna at the end, which was moving extremely slow, and it was like a couple of levels better than something you'd see in someone's front yard. And then everywhere else just seemed like regular consumer animatronics that you can get at Lowe's. Big thumbs down. Next up, Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper were on tour. And you can't miss them. I mean, if you're into any of this stuff and you miss them when they come around, either of them. Unbelievable production. The set list was tremendous. Just a lot of fun. Obviously, we got a sequel to Beetlejuice, which no one ever saw coming. We didn't think it was going to happen in our lifetime. But it was so good. Everybody came back. It was so well done. You're already able to purchase it, which is great too. I already watched it at home a few times. I saw Beetlejuice in IMAX, which is the way to go. You got to see it in IMAX. There's all kinds of different stuff now, Dolby and 4DX. I love IMAX. Give me the biggest screen possible. What an awesome experience. And with Beetlejuice came all this cool stuff. We had product tie-ins and the stuff that you can get at the movie theaters as well. So let's see. I know I got a bunch of the stuff. Oh, this fucking thing. Son of a bitch. This thing falls apart. It just falls apart. His hair. Okay. This guy. Love this guy. Shrunken head. So that was like a drink vessel. Why does everything have to be called a vessel now? I haven't heard that term so much since I watched Reaper on the CW. So then we had the Keebler cookies, which I love the concept. I love that Keebler randomly did Beetlejuice cosplay, Ernie the Elf. Love that. Fantastic. Kind of disappointing was the actual cookie itself. It was just, it was okay. I felt like they missed out on doing the grasshoppers, like a chocolate mint, because then you could have the green in there. Why don't they just let me work for all these companies and just give them ideas? I could work on commission. Crumble cookies randomly. I found out about that just out of nowhere. I'm sleeping and I wake up, look at my phone and see that they posted this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Crumble cookies, so random. Of course, I had to zoom there and try these things, which I feel like those are not what you call a cookie. It's more of a cake, and they admit to it. They say these are like cake cookies. All right, cake cookies, whatever. They're very wet and moist. It's fine, but you have to be in the mood for a crumble cookie. It's not a traditional cookie. We had enough on the cookie front. We had the NECA Baby Beetlejuice, which I, of course, own because it's a must-have. Denny's, there was a completely random Denny's tie-in, which was cool, but also weird because if you go to a Denny's that wasn't equipped to give you all of the things that were supposed to be given, then it's kind of weird. The one I was at was in another state. I was traveling, and I went in and asked them. They had the big poster. I said, "You have all this stuff?" They just looked at me like, that's what happens when I ask for the things that they provide at these restaurants. They look at me like I have 4 heads, which I think is bizarre because you're promoting it as this big tie-in, and then you act like you don't know what I'm talking about, which not only makes me feel like a fool because I'm already there in Denny's to buy Beetlejuice crap, right? So it already makes me the weird guy, even though there's legions of people doing the same thing that I'm doing. But there's always this weirdness about it. Like, oh, you're the guy that's coming in for this thing. That's actually going to make me make this chocolate shake with all these accoutrements. But then you look at this thing, man, what they gave me was not what was shown in the advertisement, which is usually the case. So the other Beetlejuice thing, which was kind of a surprise, was the Fanta. So this is the Fanta, the Jenna Ortega Fanta, as I'm referring to it. Now, here's the thing. I believe they made 0 versions, although I couldn't find them. Like, let's be honest. Look at this thing. So I have, this is about 45 pounds of pure Fanta. And what I don't understand about it is like, I'm sorry, whoever designed this, it's just an image of her face. I don't even know if it's from a promotional photo from the film. It's just a Jenna Ortega picture with an orange background. And what looks to me, the first thing I see if I'm looking at this is Fred Flintstone's dress, whatever he's wearing, like his smock or whatever. I don't see anything Beetlejuicy about this at all. I mean, couldn't we have leaned in a little more? You're going to do a Beetlejuice soda? So now I got all these cans of full sugar soda. And then, talk about leaning in. Haunted apple. This label is freaking gorgeous. But, my God, it tastes like, ugh. It's so gross. I can't even begin to describe how gross this tasted. And it's a nice colored green, too. It's very deep green. So deep. It tastes like that bowl, that white ceramic bowl of potpourri that you would have seen at your aunt's house in November of 1987. That's exactly what it tastes like. So a little disappointed on the soda front, but I'm not complaining because we got Beetlejuice sodas. I also got that popcorn light up tombstone, which I thought was pretty awesome. That might be one of my favorite things. So there's a lot of Beetlejuice stuff, and I definitely would love to see Beetlejuice. I just said that. There was Jimmy Fallon's Tonightmares, which was, it was an attempt. I like that it was attempted, although not very memorable. On the Addams Family front, there was a lot going on. Westfield, New Jersey brought back Addams Fest, which is a celebration they do every year for Charles Addams, which was awesome as usual. Burger King did their random Addams Family promotion based off the animated film with the Purple Wednesday Whopper and all kinds of good stuff. Man, that had to be one of the best promotions in so many years. It was unbelievable. They went completely for it. Unreal how good Burger King executed all that. So we're going from Addams Family to Wednesday. A lot going on with Wednesday. We had the Monster High dolls that came out. We also had Wednesday cereal, which was a big deal kind of early on in the season. Wednesday Gushers. So a lot going on for Wednesday, and certainly looking forward to season 2 of the show. This show, Hysteria, came out on Peacock, and holy cow. That show was my shit right there. That was my shit. Unbelievable, this show. All about the satanic panic going on in the 80s. Killer soundtrack. Very much in the vein of a Sammy Kerr Trick or Treat type story. The cast was fantastic. If you're looking for something to watch, definitely check it out. I believe it's 8 episodes. So freaking good. Early on in the season, I went to Spirit Halloween. I think I only went twice the entire season, but those Corpse Bride animatronics, love those. I thought they were probably one of the coolest things that Spirit has ever offered, just because they were very real. And I love animatronics, although I don't have enough space. I can't really justify getting a giant animatronic, although I would love to have those. So maybe one of these days when I have an actual separate home just for animatronics to live. The Nightmare Before Christmas illuminated walkthrough at New York Botanical Garden, so good. I know I'm saying so good a lot, but it really was. It was fantastic. I'm a big fan of the film and I love the soundtrack. So walking through the woods with all these setups of the characters, dioramas, I guess you could say, I really enjoyed that. And I hope they do something like that again, for sure. Oh, the Stanley Cup mug vessel. I guess this is another vessel. These freaking vessels. Yeah. So this thing was supposed to glow in the dark, if I'm not mistaken, although it does not glow in the dark, unfortunately. So Stanley, that was false advertising, my man. It's not even an exaggeration. They actually do work. I feel like I'm in Antarctica. That's how cold this is. So Friday the 13th, part 4 had the 40th anniversary and it came out in theaters. I unfortunately missed it. I really wanted to go, but I love that they did this and I'm hoping they continue to do this for the subsequent movies because I totally want to go back for part 6. Trick or Treat came out on Blu-ray. This Trick or Treat, not the Sam Trick or Treat, Sammy Kerr. For me, I have so many versions of Trick or Treat. It's unbelievable. Here's one of them. Look at that. But yeah, so of course I bought it. On the Monster cereal front, we had the little pets that they added. But I think the biggest thing to mention is the box that they had from Walmart. This is the special edition box. But this box is it has to be the best box I've ever seen or touched in my life. I mean, it's great. What an awesome box. You could totally use it for something else. Of course, I'll keep it for 20 years. And I'll be like, what am I going to do with this box? Oh. Inside the box was, I'm sorry, it's a dog food bowl. It's a dog food bowl. It's 12 pounds. If you have this, you know exactly how heavy this is. Wow, it's so retro. And I didn't even wash it. I had to grab it from the sink. I just had my cereal in it this morning. Stranger Things had the candles. Was not impressed by any of those scents at all. Some of the scents were, frankly, offensive. Was not into them. One of them was Coffee and Contemplation, which was probably the better of all of them, in my opinion. The other one smelled like I was at a club on the Jersey Shore, and there was some big dudes who were very sweaty, but that's the cologne that they have on. That's what it smells like. Also on the Stranger Things front, we had the Hellfire Club pizza rolls, which I love that they do this. You got to go to the frozen food section. You never know what's going to be there. Freaking pizza rolls. I mean, Hellfire Club pizza rolls. No one saw that coming. Not even I could have predicted that. And I have a pretty good track record. Yeah, see, now I remember why I stopped recording videos. I was talking for about 10 minutes and it just stopped recording. All right, so this next one's a little bit offbeat, but it needs to be brought up. One of the highlights of the Halloween season for me was the Dawn Power Wash Pumpkin Spice Edition. So you're thinking to yourself, oh man, pumpkin spice, everything, but there's no dish detergent. I don't know if there was a huge surge of people out there who were like, I need to wash my dishes with pumpkin spice detergent. So either way, I think fantastic move on the part of Dawn. Because now, really what this is not just a regular dish detergent bottle. This is what I would refer to as a super soaker with a pumpkin spice mist inside. So you're essentially, shooting this very strong, powerful stream of pumpkin spice goo. You're shooting the stream of pumpkin spice goo. And it really is a great scent. Because I'll tell you, lots of things that you buy that are pumpkin spice are not that good. They don't smell accurate. Got to hit that mark. And this does a great job of it. So I'm happy to wash all the dishes all the time. Couple extra sprays here and there. Good to go. Pumpkin spice power wash. What a great product. In fact, this is the underdog winner of the whole season right here. Thanks, Dawn. Dunkin' Donuts definitely hit a home run this year with their bucket, that nice purple munchkin bucket where you've got some fun little graphics of the munchkins and they're out trick-or-treating. You have to order 50 munchkins for this bucket. I think it looks awesome. And then they also had a purple theme, which they called Potion. So they had their purple potion drink. And then there was also the spider donut. So the spider donut has now a purple glaze, like a lavenderish glaze, as opposed to the orange, which I do feel was a good move on the part of Dunkin'. They changed it up, refreshed it. Next year, what they should do is offer both, or at the same time, That way you could have the orange and purple, and it's very Halloween-y. And of course, everyone's going to be choosing sides there. I'm definitely team purple. I think it looks so cool. The McDonald's bucket should be on the list, and it is on the list. But the thing about those McDonald's buckets is that they put this commercial out on social media really after it was out, like after the buckets were out. So I felt like that would have been great if they promoted it on actual television before the buckets. It would have got you real excited for it. There was some fantastic Ghostbusters stuff this year. We had the inflatable firehouse, which I thought was cool. You walk through it. It's one of these lawn decorations. I thought that was awesome. Totally would love to be doing the Razor Ramon walkthrough of the Ghostbusters inflatable for the lawn. Very, very cool. Also, the Garaka. It was a life-size Garaka. That was fantastic. I love that we live in a world that you can buy a life-size Garaka. In other Ghostbusters news, those Krispy Kreme Ghostbusters donuts, which, phenomenal. Just absolutely A+ phenomenal on the part of Krispy Kreme. Kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't even know that these were going to happen until I saw that they were coming out, I think in Mexico or a different country. And then they just surprised us and they said, hey, we're coming out in the States. Man, unbelievable. Probably the best one was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man because he was a pull apart. I didn't know that. Matt mentioned to me it was a pull apart. If you just bought them and you didn't know, is your first inkling to rip his legs off? You maniacs. I wouldn't have known it was a pull apart until someone said it. So I go, okay, I get it now. Makes sense. That's fun. You could pull apart the Marshmallow Man. And he's got this powdered sugar on top. Very cool look. The Slimer donut, I believe, was some kind of like lemon. I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. The look of it is awesome. It had that purple glaze on it and the little Slimer on top. Really cool. The box was awesome in Ghostbusters stylings. There was also a drink at Krispy Kreme, which I did not get. But this was just one of the best things of the whole season. Anytime there's a random Ghostbusters donut, you got to go for it. There's a new skeleton for the lawn. The giant groundbreaking skeleton, $330. We've got the giant 12-foot skeleton. And then there's also now this year a new one where the skeleton, his head and torso are coming out of the ground. When you're driving by and you see it, especially if it's illuminated properly, just a killer look to it. Mountain Dew Voodoo, I have to say, was kind of lukewarm on it this year. I felt like, what's the flavor? I don't even know. In fact, I think I have some here. Let me You know what? Just to see what we got. This is probably flat at this point, but let's see. Yeah, I don't even know what flavor that is. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I appreciate that they always put Voodoo out in the zero variety. So thank you, Mountain Dew, for that. Voodoo should probably take a couple of years off. So, to build up that memory machine, like, oh, remember Voodoo? They did the same thing with Pitch Black. What We Do in the Shadows, they're on their final season. The show is hysterical. I would absolutely love, if they did some kind of offshoot movie after the series ends. Maybe something for Hulu or theatrical. I would dig that. Another low-key thing that happened this year is we've got Care Bears that came out in the stylings of the Universal Monsters, which was kind of unexpected. I don't think a lot of people were thinking, man, we need some Universal Monster tie-in with the Care Bears. And obviously I'm not complaining. I think it's great that exists. And it helped really just continue. Like, what more could we do to make this season awesome? Remember the Care Bears? Now they're the Universal Monsters. How much more are you going to sweeten the pot here? And it's not like I'm living every day, shooting stars from my chest or anything like that, but I'm very glad they exist. If you know me, I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and there was a couple of Scooby-Doo related items this year. The first thing was the old Scooby-Doo movies. A lot of those were available for many years, but the Scooby-Doo movie where the gang meets the Addams Family was not really widely available legally, as far as I know. I think I have it on bootleg, but for many years there were several episodes that were not available on DVD or Blu-ray or streaming or anything like that. Max now has The Gang Meets the Addams Family. So I was really enjoying that, watched it a bunch of times, really fit in with the season. And I love that now a lot of these streaming services are realizing they can just get the licenses, do whatever they need to do and stream this stuff. And it's a big deal to be able to have it at your fingertips. There's also Scooby Snacks. So there's a bunch of hors d'oeuvres that you could buy in the frozen food section. So again, as I mentioned, you never know what you're going to find in the frozen food section. That is a treasure trove. Next time you're shopping, it doesn't matter. You're going to get cold, but it's worth it. It's worth going down that aisle. Yeah. Put a sweater on and get down that aisle. As I wind things down here, I'll talk about a couple things that I was involved in. So I was on the Born to Be Rad show with Garrett. I had a great time being a guest on his show, so thanks for having me on. And of course, the Purple Stuff podcast. Matt and I have been doing some awesome episodes. You can check out the Fright Night episode. And of course, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/Purple Stuff. And we've got more to come. Holiday hijinks, as always. And then for Halloween, I always try to one-up myself and try to do some kind of better costume than I did the previous year. I mean, I don't know where this one ranks, but I do feel like it came out awesome. I was Jesse the Body Ventura from WrestleMania 2. And kind of like a little mix between the WrestleMania 2 look, Jesse the Body, merged with the Jakks Classic Superstars Jesse the Body figure. In fact, I believe that figure was based off WrestleMania 2. So I just kind of took a little bit of both. I did get asked to go up on the stage for the masquerade contest. And when the girl came over, she said, Jesse the Body, we're picking you as a finalist for the sexiest costume of the night. And I kid you not, they said the sexiest. Yeah, that's a costume I've always wanted to do, and I'm a huge Jesse the Body Ventura fan, always have been. It's been a great time talking about Halloween 2024, and I've got to say, probably one of the best in such a long time. What a great season. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is Jay from Sludge Central, signing off.
What are you doing here? Well, follow me back if you want. Wander around here too much, you may end up like him.